Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code. This is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Thursday the 7th of October 2021. Time is just coming up to 0425, nearly 4:30 in the morning GMT. Asian session coming to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime, North American session. Right, let's have a look at what happened yesterday. Wednesday the 6th, we got a positive opposed driver in the yen, plus 117. Front and back door flows mainly coming out the pound at 109, minus 109, out the euro at minus 98, and the dollar was the positive rock at plus 90, activity plus or minus 257. Intra-week then becoming more relevant, this is from Monday the 4th open, so about 15 minutes ago. We got a negative opposed driver in the yen at minus 187. Front and back door flows mainly going into the pound at plus 175, into the dollar at plus 82, and the euro is the negative rock at minus 70, activity plus or minus 257. Right, so over the week then, we've had yen weakness driving just. So we've had a weak yen driving, but yesterday we had a strong yen driving off the back of really risk off, a sell-off in equities sort of during the day with the ADP, etc. So we've over the week we've had a weak yen driving, we've had the bulk of the opposing positive flows pumping up the pound and to a lesser extent the dollar, and yesterday we had a reversal of this. We had a strong yen driving flows out of the pound and out of the euro, and the dollar stayed relatively strong at plus 90. Let's just move on to the Asian session. So intraday then, this is the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago. We've now got a reversal of this Wednesday's flows, in that we've got a soft yen unopposed negatively driving the market. No backdoor flows. We've got it's driving positive flows into the pound, into the euro, and into the dollar as the positive rock at plus 6, activity plus or minus 33. So you've got this sort of this push me pull me on the yen. Basically the market has been yen driven, either positively or negatively during the week, off the back of risk on risk off equity flows. So we'll stop it there and write up the flows. Right, we've written up the flows then. So the euro is weak except against the yen and the Swiss. The yen is weak across the board. The pound is strong except against the CAD, the AUD and the NZD, the commodity currencies. The Swiss is weak except against the yen. The CAD is strong except against the AUD and the NZD, and the AUD is strong across the board. The New Zealand dollar is strong except against the AUD, and the dollar is weak except against the yen, the Swiss and the euro. So what are the takeaways from this? Well, we've got this strong AUD across the board, weak yen across the board. We've got these commodity currencies being strong, and we've got the Swiss and the yen being weak, and the euro is weak as well. So that's standard sort of basic 101 risk on sort of flows. You've got yen weakness, dollar weakness, and then you've got commodity currency strength, Swiss weakness, and you've got a bit of pound strength being one of the most volatile complexes. So what's going to knock it about? We've got basically a day of speeches. So obviously the great and the good will know what's in these, and therefore will be trading accordingly, whereas the rest of us have to sort of try and catch up during the day. So we've got speeches from the JPY, ECB, the Fed and the CAD. So it's a pretty broad brush. So it's a series of jaw-boning speeches. and then tomorrow we've got the NFP, which is the non-farm payrolls. And if you look just over into next week, we've got Wednesday the 13th, which is the Fed minutes. So that's something to bear in mind. So this is obviously the Fed already know what the NFP is. So they know what the meetings are going to discuss, etc. So certain market participants are in a very strong position. So today is likely to be strong moves. And we've yet to ascertain what's going on. So we'll stop it there and write up the asset classes. Right, we've written up the asset classes then. So the US dollar index, basically it was pumped up, it came off, it's now recovering, it's now 0.125 from the modelled high. So it's an eighth off its high in those terms. Gold won't like a strong dollar particularly, and it's 0.36 from the floor, so it's about a third above the floor. Oil had this break. It went up about 25 to 28% above the break in model terms, and it's now back to about 0.18 from the high. So it's 18% off its high, 20% roughly. So Wall Street, S&P, and tech, they've all got this same look. The equities came off. They've come back now. A little bit. Wall Street is 0.5 half marks, S&P is 0.42 from the floor, below half marks, and tech is 0.4 from the floor, again below half marks. So equities are sort of mid-range in their range from the modelled high and low. US 10-year in the bund, this is the prices. We've had this big fall off in prices, rising yields, then they came back a bit, and now they're going south again in terms of price. So we've got strengthening US yields, relatively speaking, and the bund is, so the US is 0.20 from the floor in terms of price, 20% off the floor, so the yields are relatively strong, and the bund is 0.14 off the floor, so the bund is price-wise is weaker, so the yields are stronger. So arguably there's still a little bit of a push in the euro's favour, but the euro's been very soft due to the strong dollar. But right, so then we've got copper. Copper's been chopping about madly, and it's 0.40 from the floor, so it's below half marks, but it has staged a recovery. And US steel, interestingly, is now absolutely at the floor. It's basically done a full reversal, excuse me, and it's very soft, and this is probably due to the infrastructure issues in with the bill in the US. So expect US steel to sort of rebound big style on the up at some stage. Right, so we'll get rid of that and do the final analysis. As I said, the boxing in terms of the economic calendar, we've got Wednesday next week is the Fed minutes. Tomorrow we've got NFP. Yesterday, Wednesday, we had duck out there. Wednesday we had the ADP, which is an employment report, and that came in reasonably positive. And yet initially we had this sell-off in equities, and now we've had this bounce. So if you look at the majors, euro, yen, pound. So the big thing is, so looking ahead, you've got this Fed minutes on the 13th of the 10th, which is a Wednesday. You've got NFP Friday, which is tomorrow. So you've got this boxing in there. We've got meetings all over the place. And if you look at the flows, then the yen has been driving off the back of equity transmissions, sort of risk on, off, and it's either been about the pound has been bearing the brunt of the plus or minus. So when the yen takes off either way, the pound has been going with it, and to a lesser extent the euro and the dollar have been playing second fiddle. So what's been happening in the flows then? Well, the Asian session has basically seen classic full risk on. So we've got full risk on Asian session. So we've got strong CAD, AUD, NZD. We've got weak Swiss, and we've got in the majors we've got weak dollar and weak yen, and therefore you've got all this. You've got these negative flows, and you've got this pound coming up, and then you've got the euro, which is neutral to soft at the moment, which is the one that's been hammered off. So so that's where you've got to put your attention today. We've got very little data. We've got meetings, and we've got this boxing in of the economic calendar. We're likely to see if we get like a big surge up in equities as we run into non-farm payroll, then you're going to see the yen driving negatively, flows going into the pound, and the dollar will be neutral to probably to be negative, and the euro will be neutral to positive. So the action really will be in the yen and the pound and the commodity currencies. That's where the action's going to be. So, but obviously we'll need to see how the European session takes off and how much it gets knocked about by all these speeches. But that's where we are. That's what you want to be looking out for. If equities carry on and they go for the full pump up, and as I say, the market is positioned for that in the Asian session, then expect yen weakness, pound strength to be the driving factors. Hope that was useful. See you tomorrow for the daily briefing. Thanks for watching.